banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. Newcastle United versus Manchester United. It's the build-up live, where we will bring you the team sheets. I've got Roly joining me this afternoon. How are you, Roly?
Oh, excited. Really excited for the game today.
Exactly.
I hope we smash them.
You will get to that shortly. Okay, breaking news first of all. You probably heard it was broken in the last half an hour, 45 minutes. Brendan Rodgers has left Leicester by mutual consent. Yes, you could always say it's a sacking, but he's gone. Was it is it a stupid mistake to let somebody go this late on the season? Who knows? Who can tell? It's Leicester's problem, not our problem. But just so in case anybody hasn't heard the news, after 4 years of Leicester City, Brendan Rodgers has now gone. So there we go. I'm just going to get into some comments as well, first of all, before I get into what I'm going to come on to, first of all, before Hi all, says Trolls. Hi, Tony. Hi, Trolls. Hope you're well, mate. He says, if we lose to Man U today, I will lose myself. I'm so tired of losing or drawn to them enough. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine today, Trolls. I'm hoping so anyway, mate. I'm saying 2-1. BS says 3-1. Isak, Joe Linton and Maxi as a sub. That's not a bad shout. Mighty Mag, afternoon, Trolls and Tony. Afternoon, Mighty Mag. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you on. Would love if Maxi came on and turned them on their arses, to be honest, says Trolls. Yeah, wouldn't we just? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's Dallo playing on the right, just rip him a new one. Yeah. Ian, afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, Ian. I hope you're very well, mate. Nice to see you. Hopefully a good win today, says Ian. Yeah, hope so, mate. Absolutely. Do you know what? Even if we win 2-1, I don't care. But even if we win 5-0, I'll be bloody ecstatic. Especially if Cher does a chip, a Philip Albert chip at the end for the 5th goal. That would just put the icing on the cake. 1996 all over again. I think Gordon's starting. I think he'll be on the bench, Mighty Mac, because he's actually at the ground. Troll says, would love to see Big Joe Willock and Bruno in the middle, so we have super sub in the middle with Longy. Yeah, absolutely. David says, hi, Tony B. I'm going 2-1 Newcastle. Hi, David. Hope you're well. Troll says, hi, Roly. Ian says, hi, Roly.
Hi, Ian.
Gareth says, good evening, Tony and Roly. Hopefully a 2 win. Yeah, absolutely, Gareth. Let's hope, mate. Let's hope. Alan says, afternoon, Tony. I'm going for a 4-0 win and Botman to score. Do you know what, Alan? I've said Botman to score. I've got Isak and Botman to score the goals. Troll's bit nervous, not because I don't think we can beat them, but VAR and refs seem to be paid by Man United. As long as we don't give them anything to think about, we should be fine. Lads, do you think Rodgers will go to Spurs? I'm not sure. I don't know. But all we do know is he's gone from Leicester. And Troll says, I would like Botman to do the chip, to be fair. Yeah, that wouldn't.
I don't care who it is, as long as we score the goals. I've got a better idea. Let's have Nick Pope do a clearance, and he chips De Gea from his penalty box.
Gary D, guess who's doing a watch along, Mr. Sinclair with Macy? Yeah, I've seen that, Gary, and yeah, right. first of all, before I go on anything else, I want to put this out here because I am getting really, really, really angry at this as a Newcastle fan, right? I love this club to bits. Now, this is my club, not personally my club, but it's my club. Born and bred Newcastle, absolute live and breathe Newcastle, bleed black and white for Newcastle. Nobody else's colours whatsoever. Now, as nice a guy as Mr. John Sinclair is, right, putting shit out like this on a match day. Thanks, Kaz. Happy match day, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day and may the best United win too. No, John, may Newcastle United win today. Not the best United, Newcastle United, John. Look, John, we like you. You're a nice guy. But come on, John. Over the last few days, we've seen nothing but shit put on Twitter about these Reds, tagging your Red mates. You're tagging them this morning again. You did this on the Carabao Cup final day. You tagged your Red mates in. John, stop it, because if you don't, John, I'm not being nasty, John, and I'm putting this out there as a plea to you. If you don't stop doing this, people are going to turn off your channel, John, because they're going to get so sick of it. And it's pissing the fan base off. You wonder why people question you and say, John the Red, and then you go, oh, I'm not a Red, I'm not a Red. Well, John, why do you think people are slating you for being a Red? Because you're putting crap out like this, week in, week out, John. It needs to stop. Because if you don't want people to see it, do it privately. But don't put it in the domain where everybody can see it, John. And, you know, if you're black and white, come out and say you're black and white, John. You know, or if you're a Red, go and be a Red, John. But, you know, just stop putting it out there. Yes, I know in the one today you've put a couple of Newcastle fans in there. But really, John, you need to take a long, hard think before you put these tweets out. You know how, as a true Newcastle fan, we know how much we hate Man United. And when you're putting stuff like that on a match day, it is not a great look, John. And like I say, I am not having a dig at you whatsoever, John, because I think you're a nice guy. You know, you had me on your channel. I ran your channel for a week when you were on holiday and, you know, and all that. And then I've set my own channel. But please, John, come on. Start thinking, mate, and stop putting stuff like that on. I'm sure these Man United fans wouldn't say to you, oh, may the best United win. They'd probably be saying, we hope Man United smash Newcastle United. That's what they'll be saying. They won't care, John. So why should you care about what they put on? Just tell them the truth. You hope we go out there and smash them. Don't be too nice to these people, because at the end of the day, John, we're rival fans at the end of the day. So please, John, just, you know, please just think about what you're doing and don't put these silly tweets out there, please, because really, it's not great. And a lot of fans I've seen on Twitter lately are getting a bit paid off with it, John. And you can understand why they take the mickey and say, are you a Red? And when I used to come on your shows, I used to say to people, oh, don't slate Man U in front of Macy too much because you might not like it. I'm sorry, John. I hate Man United. I'm going to say how I feel about them at the end of the day. I hope we go out there and smash them fuckers today. I really do. Because, one, we want revenge for that cup final. Two, well, could have scored and we should have beat them at Old Trafford. And for last year, for them robbing us of 3 points last year through Cavani's scrappy goal, I want revenge for that as well. So, no, we're going to go out there and we're going to smash them toe rags today. And that ferret as well in midfield. Sorry, rant over, guys, but yeah, I'm going to...
Can I just add a couple of things? I mean, I think John is great. He's a great person. This is not a slight on John. It's just a bit of advice. The way I look at supporting the football, I'm not from Newcastle. I've only been a handful of times, mainly to watch matches, but I've been supporting Newcastle since 1977. I have lots of mates. Lots of mates support Liverpool. Lots of mates supports Everton and other teams. When we play them, I want to win, and I tell them, I say, I hope it's a good game, but I hope we smash them. I mean, saying, "Oh, it's match days," you don't say like the best United when it's Newcastle. I know you have friends and you like to talk to them. As Tony said, if you want to message them stuff like that, set up a private group, because when it's public like that, all your subscribers see it who are on Twitter, and they start thinking, he's a red. So it's, yeah, you got to sort it. You have to think about your core audience. I've told you before, you have to think about your core audience. Your core audience is Newcastle United. So what you put on your public face must appeal to your core audience. And that's not being nice to Man United. I'm sorry, John, you need to sort it. Or either sort it or become a general football channel when then no one takes it's no one's club in particular. And then it's not an issue. When it's a dedicated Newcastle channel, you can't be praising Manchester United or being nice to Man United. It could only be worse if you're saying the same things about Sunderland. That's the only way it could be worse. What you're doing.
I see where you. And I mean, well said, Roly. But the thing is, though, right? As I say, he is a nice guy, but I think sometimes he doesn't engage brain before he puts things out there. And he done this on the Carabao Cup final day, done exactly the same thing. And, even when you've got even Paul Toon Review tweeting, what is he doing? Paul had a rant the other night about him on his show. What is John Sinclair doing? I mean, you've got people here asking you, what is going on, John? If are you a closet red, John? Because, it's not a great look. I mean, my channel is it's all black and white TV, which means one thing. It's all about Newcastle United, okay? And everybody knows it's all about Newcastle United. And yes, we do have some general talk about other teams, or if we've had a show where we talk football and we have spoken about other teams, that's completely different. But it's like me having a look. It's like I get on with Reese, who I had on Devil's Rise and who came on done the preview for the Carabao Cup final. And I get on well with Macy, who's from Devils United. Now, it'd be like me putting out a tweet there this morning saying, have a great day. And, have a great match day today, Macy and Reese. I wouldn't do it because, one, that's not me. Two,
you want them to be miserable after the match.
but two, the thing is, friendships come to an end on a match day when it's between the two teams. After that, your friends start again. But, you put friendships aside on match days like this, and that's exactly what I do. But I wouldn't go out there and put it in the public domain and tweet it so everybody can see it. And the thing is, what John, I think, doesn't realise is people can actually screenshot stuff and use it. Once it's out there, even if you delete it, it may be too late because by then, thousands of people have probably screenshotted what you've put out there, and exactly like what I've done. I've put it out there. That's what John said. Not great. Not great at all, John. Honestly, seriously, you've scored an own goal on that one, mate. You've scored an own goal. Yeah. I'm just going to blast into some comments because I've got quite a few comments coming in here. And I suspect this is going to be very busy and very bumpy. So let's get into them. So Troll says, listen to some of Ten Hag's pre-match conference. What a pillock that man is. Yeah, he's trying to be Alex Ferguson and he's not. So simple as. BS says, love John, but I call him John Sinclair. Well, yeah. It's not great, is it? Coffee, hi Tony, Roly and all. Hi Coffee, hope you're well. People saying hello to I like coffee. Tony and Roly will be in our starting 11 today.
Oh God, no! 250 plus middle-aged men get slaughtered.
Mag says Toon. Thank you very much, Mags. Indeed, big up all what's John done. Tagging these Man United mates again, Brian. He's done it. Yes, he's done it on Friday, and he's done it again today on a match day of all days when we're playing the Red Scum. And he puts that on there. He puts it on there that we're playing them today, and he puts on a tweet about Sunday vibes. Sorry, John. Sod the Sunday vibes with the Man United fans. Tag our own fans in it if you have to. Alan says Paul from Toon Review had a go at John on Man U supporters on his channel, and I agree with him. yeah, I saw it as well, Alan. I thought it was absolutely brilliant what Paul said. He was absolutely spot on. And sorry, I've had a rant over this as well, but I'm just getting to the stage where I'm just getting really, really, really pissed off with it, because at the end of the day, I'm magpie through and through. I have been since the day I was born. Well, since I was 10-year-old, sorry. And I will be until the day I depart this earth. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I will never, ever big another team up. So
Especially if
I
you're
wouldn't
playing.
go out my way, especially a main rival like Manchester United. Gary says, well said, Tony, mate. Thank you very much indeed, Gary. Mag says, that's a passion John will never know. Nice one, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Andrew says, I read lads 3-0, Isak hat-trick. Nice one, Andrew. Brian says, think John's too nice. I've been accused of that myself.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Maybe it's part of it. But the thing is, though, But I told John this after the Carabao Cup game. I told John about this. I said, look, John, really, you shouldn't have put them tweets out. I said, you're getting a lot of stick. And then he said to me, on that Sunday, he said, oh, maybe I've made a mistake. Then I went, yes, John, you have. Oh, well, I won't do it again. Well, you've done it again, John. So you haven't clearly learned from it. You've done it again. So, it's... Mag says he's a closet red lol. Coffee says, it's all like banter about John being a red, Tony, from the Four Horsemen days. Even Paul used to put disclaimers out during the Horsemen not to take John but being a red too seriously. Thing is, though, Coffee, it's not that. He's just doing it more and more now. And, I just don't get it. I really don't get it, honestly. I don't. As I say, John is a nice guy. Yes, he is. But all I'm saying is, I haven't got a problem if he wants to give a shout out to his red mates, but just not when we're actually playing them. That's the only thing I'm trying to explain. And that's what I said to John at about the Carabao Cup final. I said, you shouldn't have done it. And he was told by not just me, but also by Paul from Toon Review and Billy. And he said, oh, well, I won't do that again. But clearly he has. So Jake says, he can do what he wants, in my opinion. I just don't watch his streams. That's fair enough, Jake.
That's the whole point. He wants people to watch his streams, and he's doing stuff that's just making people say, I won't watch his streams.
Yeah. He says, haha, if they have a good match day, that means we have a bad one. It's just, yeah. Alan says, poor Johnny will get his channel closed down, carry on like that. Well, that's up to John. If he's, Alan, at the end of the day, I'm just passionate about my club and always have been. I sat through the thick of it in the 80s when, we had Seymour, McKeague, who were a selling club, sold Waddle, Beardsley, Gascoigne, the list goes on. Wow. They were awful people. We had Ozzy Ardiles as manager, who was absolutely woeful, one of the worst managers we've ever had.
Come on, Tony, you're giving him too much credit.
But what I'm saying is I'm just showing my passion as a fan.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that you're giving Ozzy Ardiles too much credit, saying he's an awful manager.
Let's beat the Man U scum today, says Alan. Do you know what? Absolutely, Alan. We are going to beat them. We are going to smash them, Alan. I really hope we do, because, just to get one over them, Jack, go on, Pete. But anyway, hi, Jack. Nah, come on, I love John. Yeah, we do love John, Brian. Brian, we do love John. He's a great guy. And I mean, I was thankful when I was on his co-hosting for him, looking after him. He was going to go on holiday and not worry about and just leave his channel for a week. And I said, John, you need to carry your channel on, because if you don't, you're going to lose subscribers. So I stepped in. John wasn't sure about it, but he said, okay, we'll see what it goes like. And he let me do it. And I've done it for a week. And I gained him subscribers, gained him more likes, and gained him more viewings, and got his channel up, and kept his channel going. Because if he'd left that for a week, it would have took ages for him to get it back up and running. So, and then obviously some people in the chat, like Gary D, was like, well, why don't you have a channel? And that's the reason why I started my own channel. But I still said I would co-host with John as well at the same time. So, it wasn't like I was just leaving John the lurch. And before I started my own channel, I didn't even have the respect and go to John and say, look, John, have you got a problem if I start my own channel? And John was like, no, not at all. He says, if you want to start your own channel, you go ahead and do it. But I didn't want to start it until I asked John first, because that's the respect I have for people.
Yeah, and it's not about having a go at John. So we're just trying to help him.
We're trying.
Help him keep his channel, help him to grow it. And it's a bit, what he's doing is a bit like Coke saying, I hope, in public saying, we love Coke, but go out, have a good time. Doesn't matter whether you drink Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's got to be one thing. It's got to remember it's a Newcastle channel. So anything non-Newcastle with mates or banter with his mates, set up on his own private Twitter group so he can say it to them. And that's fine, because it's not in the public domain. But it's just pissing Newcastle fans off.
That's why I'm pissed off, Roly, at it, because I'm just at the end of me tether with it. But Jack says John needs to think about how it makes our fan base feel. Not a good look. It's absolutely not, Jack. I think a lot of people are getting pissed off, to be fair, Jack, and me being one of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Gary says, how many are going to watch his stream this afternoon when he's doing it with the enemy? Answer, not many, me thinks. Well, I don't know how many will tune in to watch it. But all I can say is, while we're on the talk of a watch it long, if you don't want to listen to the Sky biased punditry by Gary Neville, then you can always tune in from 4 p.m. on the Toon Review channel, because yes, I always mention the Toon Review. You can get on their channel from 4 o'clock today, and good old Billy Boy will be on there doing his commentary. And so switch off your TV to mute your TV and go and listen to Billy, and he'll give you the best commentary, better than what you'll hear from Gary Neville, who's probably the most biased pundit going. Trolls says, it's more like Bruce, to be fair. Yeah, about Ten Hag. Bia says, we want John to show his passion for the Toon, not suck up to our biggest rivals. Absolutely, Bia. Absolutely, mate. That's exactly what we want. Love John. He's a great guy. Yes, he is, Trolls. That's the thing. He is a great guy. We just want him to just... like I say, when I said to him back in February, and a few other people told him that he shouldn't have tagged his Man United mates in. Even Pete Proudlock told him as well that he made a mistake tagging his Man United mates in on the day of the cup final. He said, I'll not do that again. But he hasn't. He's done it again. He's just let it go over his head. So, And Brian says, I get the point. I feel bad for him because I know he just wants to do well. Yeah, he does want to do well, Brian. But I think he's just got to realise sometimes when you've got a rivalry with a team, you just need to say to them, I think the problem with John is I think he's frightened that if he says to them, we want to smash Man United, that they might say, stuff you, we're going off. Well, if they do, then they're not they're not proper friends. They're just fair weather friends, if that's the case. Proper friends, I've got friends who are different fans. I've got friends who are Spurs fans. I've got friends who are Nottingham Forest fans. I work with a guy who's a Spurs fan, and I said to him, your team's the most inconsistent team. I says, sometimes they'll win, sometimes they'll get beat. I says, and do you know what? He turned around and he said, I totally agree with you. So, but he didn't turn around and say, don't speak to me no more if you're going to call my club like that. No, because he knew I was speaking the truth. And that's all John's got to do. All he's got to say is, look, today we put our friendship aside because it's the game, but we reconvene after the game. That's all he's got to do. But don't just put out there saying, may the best United win.
I mean, half the fun of being a football fan is when you play your mate's team and you beat them, you take the piss out of them afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Trolls says, I know what you mean, Tony. I hate Man U with a passion. Yeah, absolutely, Trolls. Alan McTeer, good afternoon. He says, I asked John if he was an indecisive person. He replied, I'm not sure, Alan. Well, there you go. That's your answer. Gareth says, I don't like score predictions. Hopefully, a good performance and a positive result. Do you know what, Gareth? You're absolutely spot on, mate. Let's hope so. And yeah, so we're going to move off the John Sinclair saga now. I think we've spoke long and hard enough about that, and we've gone
Yeah.
through the comments. But yeah, I mean, so I'll give you what I think my lineup will be today before it comes out in 2 minutes. So my lineup is, if you want them on screen, I'll put them on screen for you. Just bear with me one moment. I think we'll have Pope in goal, Trippier, Shea, Botman, and Dan Burn. That makes up the back five. Then we have Bruno in the middle, yeah, with Longstaff and Willock. And the front three, and yes, I say the front three. The front three today, I think on the left, we'll have Joe Linton on the left, Jacob Murphy on the right, and when he comes up, Isak in attack. Give me a striker from Sweden. So that will be the lineup, I think. But again, do you know what it is? Eddie Howe could totally put a curveball in there, because I'm sure, and I did say this lightheartedly the other day, I'm sure Eddie Howe watches these streams and thinks, do you know what? Let's throw a curveball and let's prove all these people wrong. Let them play a squad bingo, and then I'll just throw a curveball in and totally change it. I'm sure he does that.
The only difference I would could see, but is a possibility that he doesn't. That he starts with ASM. But the thing is, if he starts with ASM, you got to play Joe Linton. So who's he going to drop? So I think it will be your team.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in about around about now. Teams should be out now. So we'll see how close
I'll
we
put
are.
up on screen in one moment. But the team is Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Alexander Isak, and ASM. The substitutes are Dubravka, Lascelles, Joe Linton, Anthony Gordon, Wilson, Ritchie, Target, Manquillo, Anderson. So he's not starting with Joe Linton. Joe Linton is not a starter in the team today. So there we go. And I'll just get the team news up on the screen for everybody to see. But yeah, are you shocked?
No. Is either going to be the team that you said or that one? And it's only one player change. Because I don't think you can drop anyone in midfield because they played so well in the last few games.
Yeah.
I don't think you can drop anyone. And it's just a case of whether he's going to start with Joe Linton wide or ASM.
Yeah.
So let's hope ASM has a good game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, in just before I came on air, I was listening to ASM's interview with NUFC TV, and he was saying how he's been working with Isak, and he's been working hard. So, yeah, I'm not disappointed. I know a lot of people. I mean, ASM is a bit like Marmite. I think people either love him or hate him.
Yeah. But yeah, so we shall see. But just seeing if I can see the.
And the thing for me today,
I've got the Man United lineup as well. So, are you ready for the Man United lineup?
Boo!
Sorry, Manchester United. Sorry, Manchester United. Sorry. So the Man United team as follows: De Gea in goal.
Boo!
Martinez.
Boo!
The Ferret Fernandez. Rashford.
Boo!
Sabitzer.
Boo!
Varane. Dalot.
Boo!
Anthony.
Boo!
Shaw. Weghorst and McTominay. The substitutes is Bishop, Butland, Lindelof, Uncle Festa, Maguire, Malacia, Fred, Pelistri, and Martial and Sancho. So that is the Man United lineup. So Rashford plays.
I mean, you always knew he was going to play.
Yeah, you do, don't you? I'm just
I
going to
mean,
jump into some.
Ten Hag thinks he's playing mind games, but no one buys it. Well, none of us buy it.
Coffee says, not about enemy fans being on streams. That's what collaborations are all about. Sometimes streaming with rival fans helps grow your subscribers and followers. It does, Coffee. That's why we tend to get them on for like match previews and things like that. But I think what I'm saying, Coffee, is it's not so much if that's part of it. We don't mind the collaboration part. It's just the fact. It's just the fact when you're tagging them on Twitter and you're putting it out there for everybody to see. That's what I've got the problem with, Coffee. Not so much, the fact of having fans on. There's nothing wrong with having rival fans on your channel when it's part of the thing. I mean, when we play Spurs, I've already got a Spurs fan lined up for the match preview, so I've got that all sorted out. Ian says that's a lineup I would have had, Tony. To what I said, yeah. Is Ashby on the bench? No, he's not, unfortunately, Alan. He has ESM. I'm afraid. Can't be watching watch along, says Alan. Sound out of sync and rather have the TV commentary. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea, Malin, is it? Coffee says Dan Burn versus for who? Who for Man United? Yeah. James Matthews, good afternoon, James. Hope you're well, mate. He says, how are you, the lads? Big up, Tony and Roly. Thank you very much. Same team as Forest, says Ian. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, wow. What a sub we have in Big Joe. Definitely. Alan says, Isak and ESM play well together. They do indeed. Absolutely. Other Alan says, Joe Linton will win his place back. He's been too good this season. He has. Yeah, he's just come back from a suspension. ESM to get a hat-trick, says Ian.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I think everybody would.
Love ESM. Hope he steps up today, or he should be a sub. Do you know what? Let's hope he does. Let's hope he has an unplayable game today and they can't get near him. Brian says, no J7's interesting. Yeah. Mag says, Sinclair United. Troll says, yes. Dalot is playing. That's good for ESM. It is.
Yeah.
James Matthews, can't wait for their Super Shite McTominay to bottle today. Yeah, absolutely. I don't like him. Alan says, I think Isak and Maxi will be on fire today. Yeah, good together. I hope Burn can cope with the pace from Man United down there, right? I think Joe Willock will help him out as well, so I wouldn't worry about that. Why are you insulting Uncle Fester, Tony? Alan says, Uncle Fester, a.k.a. Slabhead, Maguire. And Troll says, put a fursuit on Maguire and you have Bigfoot. Looks like Anthony is up against Burn, says Coffee. Yeah. Do you like that one? What Troll said? Put a fursuit on Maguire and you got Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I know you want Maguire at Newcastle, don't you, Roly?
God, no. Yeah, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
No, please don't do that, Roly. That's not really a good
lemon
look.
Juice into them afterwards. Oh God,
yeah,
no,
that's not really a good look, is it? If you stick pins in your eyes, because then you won't be able to see the match, will you?
Mm.
So that is the team lineup this afternoon. If you like what you see, please smash the likes. It does help the channel up the search results, so make sure you smash those likes. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. My TV switched itself off, so I don't know what the current score is. I don't know if West Ham are still leading.
Yeah, still 1-0. Still 1-0.
Still 1-0.
Minutes to go. But they're talking about results. Wasn't yesterday a brilliant day for us results-wise? Yeah,
wasn't it just? That's why
Liverpool
we need to make
losing,
sure.
Brentford and Brighton drawing, Fulham losing. We can pull away from Brighton and Brentford if we win, and Liverpool. Liverpool 8th now.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that was one of the songs. I think you noticed the other half screaming when Liverpool scored the first goal. Then she went out at half time after it was 2-1. She said, keep me updated with the score. So all I was doing was sending a smiley face emojis when Man City scored.
James Matthew, poor slaphead, getting on an absolute dog's life in here. I love it. Alan says, I'd love us to do Liverpool win 7-0. It could happen. Could do. Somebody's due a thrashing. Could that be Man United?
Yeah, hopefully.
My Brentford 3-3 prediction with Brighton was right. Should have put a bet on. Do you know what, Coffee? You should have stuck a bet on that, mate. You should have, because I don't know what the odds would have been for that, but I bet it would have been hell of a good odds.
Yeah.
See West Ham first half. Took me 2 seconds to see it was on side for 10 minutes. I know it's ridiculous how long it's took them to do it. I mean, we go there on Wednesday night. Let's get this game out of the way. Let's do the business today. Get the 3 points. Move on to West Ham. Because as I said to Pete this morning, if we win today, Wednesday and Saturday against Brentford and get the 9 points, that will put us on 56 points. Plus, Liverpool go to play Arsenal next Sunday. And if Liverpool lose, they're 12 points, they're 14 points behind us by then. And there's no way they're not getting Champions League. I'd love it if we beat them, says Jake. Yep, that's what Keegan said, didn't he? Nice one, I like coffee. And Alan says, Roly, I bet you will like me rooting for Man City. Get in.
Oh, too right. Oh. The other half says, oh, you always want Liverpool to win. It says, no, I don't. I always want Liverpool to lose. It says, I don't want them to lose when it's in our interest, but unless they play Man United or Sunderland, I want them to lose. Sometimes it benefits us if they win. I'm quite happy for them to win them. I'm very so I don't hide that I'm selfish when it comes to Newcastle. If, for example, Liverpool play Tottenham in a game, Liverpool can't get into the Champions League spot, I want them to beat Tottenham or at least draw.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, 79 minutes and it's still 1-0 to and Ian's in the chat. Ian, Celtic are winning, have won 2-0 full time against Ross County, so you've probably seen that result anyway. And in the pizza trophy that Sunderland won, the Papa John's, Bolton are currently winning 2-0 after 40 minutes against Plymouth. So there we go. Friend of mine is a Man City fan and been for 40 years, so sent him a text saying thanks, says Tross. Alan says, lads, do you think VAR should be scrapped next season? Right. Now, VAR, Alan, I see where you're coming from on that one, where the VAR should it be scrapped. Right. VAR, the system works when it is used correctly. Now, I say correctly, when it's used correctly. Unfortunately, the system's not used correctly. And we are seeing too many silly decisions. I think in the summer, Howard Webb needs to get everything sorted out. I think once the season ends, Howard Webb needs to then go in and say, right, boom, let's sort this out. Let's sort that out. Let's see where we go from here. And because he come in December, he really hasn't had a lot to do. He's tried to do stuff, implement stuff, but it's going to have to do it more after a close season. So when the season finishes, I think by the time the next season kicks off, I think we'll see some changes. And I think we'll see some major changes. But who knows? But for me, I think keep VAR as long as you got the proper people running it. What do you think, Roly?
VAR works. I think the problem with VAR is that it's only the really bad decisions that we get to see, because most of the time it works. But when it doesn't work, it's so terribly bad that people forget how good it. I think it's something like 80% or maybe a little bit higher percent of the decisions VAR make are actually right. It's just the ones that they get wrong. They're just so wrong. I mean, it's like Anderson's goal or being disallowed, or against Crystal Palace when Willock is the foul's given against Willock when he's pushed into the goalkeeper that costs us a goal. And when West Ham have a goal chalked off against Chelsea when Mendy drops the ball and plays like he's been fouled by Bowen, he jumped over him. It's those sort of decisions that really get on people's back, and then when they take so long to make a decision. I mean, I just switched on the West Ham game just as they're doing the VAR check for offside.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I saw it, I said, yeah, that's onside. And I think, they can see without the line that it's onside. I mean, it's like Liverpool's first goal. When I was on Tony's show, so I only caught the bit where just before they scored and seen, they said, look, could be offside. The moment I saw it on the first replay, you knew he was onside, and yet they still took a couple of minutes to decide. They need to speed it up. I mean, if it's for clear and obvious errors, that's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Clear and obvious errors. If it's clear and obvious error, it shouldn't take you 3 minutes. I think that if they can't decide whether the referee's decision is wrong in a minute, they should go with the on-field call, because it shouldn't take that long. And it's the West Ham goal today. It took 3 minutes. It took me 5 seconds to see it was onside. That's the problem. It takes too long, and when they get the decision wrong, it's not one of these. You can understand them getting it wrong. Well, there's decisions where you think it's like the Nick Pope one against the other week against Wolves. It's one of those ones where if the ref gives the penalty, it stays a penalty. Ref didn't give a penalty. VAR went with the ref because it wasn't clear and obvious. There are going to be decisions where they'll stay. They need to stay with the on-field decisions where they take too long, where it's going to take a long time to get it right. So they should have a time limit on how long it takes to decide. The referee's mindset needs to be changed so that when they go over, that it's like in rugby union. I know it's a totally different game. When they're looking at a try on the monitors, what they'll do is say, I want to give a try. Give me a reason why I can't afford it. Is there a reason I can't award the try? Mm-hmm. And it needs to go over to when the VAR say come over to the monitors and says, I think it's a goal. Show me why it's not a goal. And then they say, right, can you give me another angle? Can you give me another angle? Can you give me another angle? And then he makes his mind up. But it should be rather than VR saying you've made a mistake, they can say, well, we think you've made a mistake. He says, this is my decision. Show me why I shouldn't stick with my own decision. And you can't just show me one angle. You've got to show me all the different angles. And then we'll get better decisions. So the correct decisions will go up from 85, let's say, to 90 or 95, because the referee, VAR have to have a good reason for the ref to overturn the decision.
Yeah.
The system works if it's used properly, or the people using it know what they're doing.
That's the thing, Roly. It's the people using it. That's the problem. It's not the system. The system's not broken. It's the people who are using it.
Yeah. That
are broken, not the system. Mighty Max says, Tony and Roly, who do you reckon will go down? It's so tight down there. Tell you what it is, Mighty Mag. I'll tell you who I'm seeing is going down, and I'll tell you now. Southampton, Everton, and Leicester.
I think you could be right, especially if Everton get points taken off them, which they could do, they will go down. But at the end of the day, it's really anything from about 6 or 7.
If they get a 10-point deduction of it, it's bye-bye.
Southampton just hit the post, hit the crossbar. I hope Everton go down. I really do. Can't stand them. After Sunderland and Man United, they are my the teams that I hate the most. But I think Leicester. It doesn't make any sense to me getting rid of Brendan Rodgers now, because Right, you get a new guy in. How's he going to turn it around in 10 games?
Mm.
It very rarely works when you in. I mean, Crystal Palace were in a slightly different situation. Roy Hodgson knows the club. He's probably been at the club, obviously not in an official role, but they're not in the relegation zone. They're on a bad run, but they weren't in the relegation zone. So he can afford to make a couple of mistakes in sorting it out and moving forward. Well, Leicester are in the bottom three and can't afford to make any mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
A new manager hasn't got time to change much, change any systems or anything, because there's no time to coach and train them in it, because especially in April, there's so many games. So it's pretty much going to have to stay with the same system. It's like when Eddie took over at us, it took us a long time to actually start winning after he took over, because he was changing the training regimes and slowly changing the way we played until we actually started to play the way he wanted to. And then the results started to come. But he had from October to get it right. I mean, we've done it in the past when we brought Rafa in. We brought him with 10 games to go, in a similar situation that Leicester were in. And he couldn't do anything. I think if there'd been 3 or 4 more games, we would have survived that season, but there weren't. It was just too late.
Absolutely.
It's just too late.
So yeah, that's it. That's the 3 I think will go down, Roly. I think Bournemouth will get out of it because they're a gritty side.
That's a brilliant win for them yesterday.
Mm-hmm. To be 1-0 down to come back and win 2-1, yeah.
And that takes them out the bottom 3. I mean, the thing is so tight that, I mean, on the final day of the season, West Ham play Leicester. Is it Everton? I think Everton played Bournemouth. And there's another team in the bottom. I think Palace plays someone down at the bottom as well. Leeds, I think it is, on the last day of the season. So those are going to be any of those teams. Well, I think Palace are going to be safe because they only need 7 more points. But the rest of them, it's all much of a muchness. And going into that last weekend, all 3 relegation spots could actually be up for grabs, which should be really exciting, especially as we're not involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, quickly just going back to VAR, I mean, we saw how well VAR can work. Like yesterday, Brighton versus Brentford. Aaron Hickey handball. Michael Oliver didn't spot it. VAR looked at it. Told Michael Oliver, go and have a look at the monitor. He went to the monitor. Yeah, okay, it's a handball. Yeah, it's a penalty. Gave the penalty. That's where VAR works brilliantly. That's all I want to see on that one. I'm just going to rattle through some comments because we're going to be wrapping up soon. Troll says, sad thing is VAR won't improve and it's here to stay. Well, yeah, let's hope. So we'll see what Howard Webb does in the summer.
I think Howard Webb's going to make a big difference in the summer because he'll get all the rest around and say, this isn't good enough. We need to be better. Won't be surprised if he's got a dossier of all the really horrendous decisions they've made and says, why did you give that? That's horrendous. I mean, it's like Dermot Gallagher's was never one of my favourite refs when he was actually reffing, but I find ref watch fascinating.
Yeah.
Because he gives the referee's point of view and why things are given and why things aren't. And when VAR's got it wrong, he says, well, no idea what they're thinking about here. Or they're concentrating on one thing. They've got one angle they're concentrating on when there's another angle that shows that clearly the decision on field was right. But they got this almost like tunnel vision. They've got to be better at analysing the footage and looking at all angles. And if they're not sure, they have to go with the referee's on-field decision, like our goal against Isak, against Liverpool. It's like using a different sport. In cricket, I know it's a totally different sport, on LBW, they have if the whatever the umpire's decision, if less than half the ball's actually hitting the stump, they go with the on-field decision.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the
they do.
referee's in control. If it's not so blatantly obvious that he's got it wrong, they stay with the rest, the umpire's decision. I mean, with again, hitting the wicket is different than obviously football, but it's one of those things because they're using ball tracking to see where the ball's gone. There is an element of doubt in it, and if the referee says it's out, and it's just clipping the stumps, they'll give it out. But if it's not out, they stay. There's got to be more deference to the on-field official's decision.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be. I feel it's got to be so clear that they made a mistake that they change it. But if they've got to take 3 minutes, it's not clear and obvious. And that's why if you have a 60-second window for them to make the decision, if it's clear and obvious, you should be able to spot it in that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian says, I watched the Tony, not a classic. You mean the Celtic game? Thing is, Ian, sometimes games don't have to be a classic, but it's getting that 3 points, and that's the main thing, isn't it? Getting them 3 points. Coffee says, VAR shouldn't be scrapped. It will lead to more cheating. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Ian says, VAR takes too long to make decisions. It does at times, and it really is. It is a farce at times. Alan says, I agree with Brian. Voss was shocking for the West Ham United goal. Took a lifetime to see a goal. It took me seconds to see it won't be chalked off. Yeah, I know. It's absolutely ridiculous how long it's taken. Coffee says, VAR is awesome, not the people running it. You're absolutely right. At least VAR is proof of incompetence of referees. Yeah, it is, absolutely. Gary says, it's not VAR that wants scrapped. It's the people using it once sacked, lads. Yeah, you're not far wrong. Jake says, anyone see that Goldbridge say St James's has nothing on Anfield? Oh, Goldbridge is an idiot. I can't stand Mark Goldbridge. He's just a big-headed mank twat. Goldbridge is an idiot, says Ian Fleming. Yeah, absolutely, Ian. He is. He's an absolute idiot. I just can't stand the bloke. Who the hell is Goldbridge? Does he live at Corbridge, says Alan. No, he certainly doesn't live in Corbridge, that's for sure. Hi, fellas, you're doing an after-game show? Yes, I probably will be, Billy, at some point, but it'll probably be maybe after 8 o'clock or something, because obviously I've got to go and pick the other half up from work at 7, so thankfully the match finishes at about 20 past 6, so I don't have to leave the house till about 6:30, 20 to 7 to go and pick her up, so that's not too bad. So she was even lovely to me because she said, if the match does overrun, she says, I'll wait at work while you watch the rest of the game. So I thought, that's nice. How nice. See, it's just she nice, you see. Exactly. She loves me to bits. Yeah, exactly. Coffee says, Rashford's injured according to Ten Hag, but he's in the squad. It's all mind games, Coffee, but do you know what? Eddie Howe don't buy it.
Yeah.
People saying hi to Billy. Yes, he's doing a watch coffee 4 o'clock. Tune review. That's where you'll catch it, Billy. I always like to give people a plug. Coffee says awesome. Yeah. Alan says I can hear fans singing. That's unusual this early. Hi everyone, says Billy. Hi Billy. I hope you're well, mate. Sefton says just got back from shopping. Afternoon all. How are the lads? 2-1. Yeah, let's go, Sefton. Palace looked like it different in the highlights when they beat Leicester. Yep, because Woy's back. Woy. Good old Woy Hodgson. Nice to see you chat with more chat than mod, says Billy. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Alan says, let's hammer the Reds today. Onwards and upwards. Absolutely. Sefton saying hi to Billy. I wonder what Hodgson did to Palace as a team. I don't know. You got the Wong White. We'll just take the P out of Rory Hodgson. Tony, is there a show after the game for a review, or is this a running straight through? No, I'm not doing a watch along. But no, after this show, after the game, there will be one, but I see it probably be after 8 o'clock, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Don't you want to know I like coffee? J7 on the bench, yes, Sefton he is. LA Coffee says the own goal by that Leicester keeper was hilarious. In off his backside, or was that Danny Ward?
No, it
Coffee
wasn't
says,
Ward.
wasn't Ward. Oh, no, it was Everson, wasn't it? Faze has been a calamity for them, a fault for their second goal. Yeah, that's the wannabe Colaccini, isn't it?
Yeah, the shit Colaccini.
Yeah.
I was telling my my other half, because she saw him, said, "Oh, it's the guy that scored twice for them because he's a Liverpool fan." He said, "Yeah, the shit Colaccini." So she looked at me straight, so I had to show her a picture of Fabrizio, and then she realised he's just a shit Colaccini.
Mighty Max says, if Leicester goes down, Madison's gone. Yeah, we will be.
He's gone anyway, so...
Yeah. Trolls, we have a
if
stronger bench than we've had for...
I was going to say, if they go down, we might be able to get them a bit cheaper.
We have a stronger bench than we've had for ages, says Trolls. Great to get Big Joe in at 60 minutes and boss the midfield with Bruno and Longy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coffee says, apart from Goldbridge, there's quite a few Man U fans who aren't confident about this game, primarily because they are missing their cheat code, Casemiro. Well, Macy said it on Thursday. She's concerned about this game because it's not going to be easy. And, it's nice and refreshing to hear that. At least not all Man United fans are up their own backsides. Joe says, all right, Tony and Roly, how you doing? Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much, Joe. Great show, says Trolls. Thank you very much. Everton are in the bottom three now, says Sefton. Yeah, great in it. And that 10-point deduction, that'll send them even further down, and they won't come back from that. Alan says, Celtic game never is going to be a classic. They play nobody 98% of the time. Terrible league, Scotland. Yeah. Alan says, keep up the good work, Tony. I'm off to watch the match with a tune review. No worries, Alan. Thank you very much, mate. Enjoy. And Ian says, great show, Tony and Roly. Have to go, Tony. Catch up later. Yeah, absolutely. No, you get yourselves away, guy. We're going to wrap up as well. So, Roly, the voice of reason, would you like to let people know where they can find the voice of reason?
On Twitter, @Pols67.
So there we go, guys. That's where you can find Roly. And you can find me on TonyTooney31 on Twitter and the same on Twitch as well. Also, if you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It does help the channel up the search results. So if you haven't smashed the like yet, then please hit that thumbs up. It takes 1 second just to press that button. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so. That helps the channel grow. And the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming show. So I'm currently on 456 subscribers. So 44 away from 500. So thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed so far. And I've got some more final comments. Bye, Tony, Roly, and all, says Coffee. Bye-bye to you, Coffee. Enjoy the game. How are you, the lads? Come on, Sefton. How are you, the lads? Mighty Mag. Great show, Tony, Roly. Chat us. Be on later, guys. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Alan says, Twitter gossip is rubbish. Yeah, absolutely. Catch you both soon, says Gareth. Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, before I do go, though, yes, I had a rant about John Sinclair. I'm not personally attacking John Sinclair, so if anybody thinks I was attacking John, I am not attacking him. It is just constructive criticism. That's all it is. It's not attacking John. It's not going at John, because John is a very good friend still of mine. And all I'm just saying is, I think when it comes to playing like some Man United, I think really these sort of tweets shouldn't be happening. But, but I'm sure John learned from it. If I put something out there by mistake, I would learn from it. So, like anybody, we're all human. We all make mistakes. But, that's all it is. Catch you both soon. Thanks, Gareth.
Thanks, Gareth.
And no, Twitter is rubbish. Yeah, it is. I'll now only use it for promoting my shows, basically, mate. That's all I mainly use it for. And, but that's it. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming on. I'll have a quick word with Roly backstage. But, yeah. Come on the tune. Let's get out there. Let's smash the mags. Let's get 3 points. Yeah, and let's hit third place tonight. 3 points, 3 goals, third place. It's all into threes at the minute. Yeah. And we've had 2-2-1 wins. Let's make this the third. But for now, it's bye-bye from me.
It's bye-bye from me. Away the lads.
Come on.